Good evening, folks, and welcome back to the Marz Talk Show. Tonight I had two very special guests come on, Redustrial and Marz. Not me, though. This would be a different Marz. I know. We managed to find another Marz. Kinda scary. These two individuals, though, are wonderful individuals, amazingly and incredibly talented cosplayers. Joining me as my co-host was the amazingly beautiful Song River. And tonight we had discussed with Redustrial and Marz their experiences within the cosplay community and how they have seen changes over the years on how the development, interactions of the cosplay community have come. It was very much enjoyable talking with these two, and I hope you'll enjoy our little conversation.
You know, a lot of people do look up to you two for your work.
Whenever someone tells us that, me and her, we get all like, oh my god, really? Because we never really thought that. We didn't realize that they're like Marz, you guys do a watch us? And I was like, oh, that actually a lot. I'm like, really? Scary.
People actually like your work. I know, it's insane.
It's kind of intimidating because I don't love it.
And Marz, this is Sam. I wanted to ask you before we go on. I work for a local newspaper here in the Phoenix and the Los Angeles area called The Wad, and it's a pop culture newspaper that goes out, and then it's also affiliated with an online website. Are you guys okay with me taking what we discussed tonight and creating a topic from that as an interview for the newspaper?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, and then after we get done, I'll have Marz give you my email because I need to get a couple of pictures of you guys emailed to me so that we can utilize those in the newspaper as well, okay?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, cool, thank you.
I bet you didn't expect that. I'm rolling out the red carpet for you guys.
That's awesome, thanks. Asking what we should use now.
And how long have you guys been doing cosplay?
Oh my god, yeah, you started when?
I started in 2003, and this was a break started again in 2007.
And what about you, Marz? When did you begin?
My first convention was in 2005, I think? Yeah, 2005, in Boston, 2005.
Was it the Boston Comic Con, or what was it that you were at?
Oh, in Boston.
And in Boston.
2000, I was 15 years old. I'm 25 now.
Aren't you really old wearing around in women's underwear? No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're right. I am still playing around with the way. That's why, I think after I turned 21, because I lost my androgynous body, I couldn't do crossplay anymore.
Well, I know I'm really well acquainted with the Comic-Con community and the cosplayers here in the west part of the United States, and that is something I had noticed is somewhere right around between the ages of 18 to 21 for males, androgyny has to end, and they have to stay with their own role, or they use a lot of duct tape.
Yeah, that's what I kind of took my own role. But, I dropped Rose Christopher, and I dropped the idea of doing the major from Ghost in the Shell down, and I'm like, okay, strictly fixed from here.
Yeah.
That's why I did Avatar again, because I did Avatar when I was younger, I kind of was weird with Avatar, I was like a little, I don't know, like, I was weird with Avatar.
Well, you could have done Alucard when he was a female, if you remember correctly, from the OVA series. Just saying.
So there's everything, grown cheating.
So
I kind of pushed the envelope.
Just slightly, but you still pulled it off.
And when my dad saw it, he didn't believe it was me. Like,
gosh.
that's really wow, this is good. the funniest thing is though, like, I saw him like keep the picture of me as Rosette from Burn Crusade from like about 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
And he shows it to his friends, like, yeah, it's my son, not proud of it.
How long have you and Red actually been working together?
About 5 years.
5 years, wow.
5 years, 2009.
And she still hasn't put a knife in your back. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
If I could direct a question to Red, since it is known as International Women's Day today, happy being a woman, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean, as a cosplayer and a female in the industry, something I've noticed out here, and pardon me if it's a bit of a frank question, is that a lot of the guys will utilize, how do I say this nicely, their attributes, their bosom, their breasts, honkers, whatever you want to call them, to portray characters in order to gain attention. Do you guys find back east that the women are doing that as much?
I think I covered this on Facebook a couple weeks ago. Chris probably saw it. Well, everybody knows I don't fucking do it. Put my foot out there to gain attention to my cosplays.
So is that something that's more done maybe out here in the West than it is back East? I mean, what are the differences do you notice coastally?
I noticed that only recently, like maybe about maybe a year and a half, 2 years now, it started to get that way over on the East Coast as well. A couple of folks who do that now over here, and they're well known for it. I personally don't agree with it. I think that, if you're a cosplayer, be a cosplayer. But if you want attention for being attractive and having, a well-endowed bosom, then just do so. And market yourself as such. But don't say, oh, don't look at my breast. Don't look at my breast. I'm a patient. I'm a cosplayer. If you don't want anyone to look at your breast, don't put them out there in a cosplay. We all know that you want us to look at them.
Right?
Very good point.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point. It's really a shame that a lot of that, I don't know, maybe it's just been my experience, but it's really a shame that a lot of the female cosplayers have turned to that. Because, I mean, I've seen some, if you don't mind me saying, Red, you've done some incredible cosplay work, and you haven't extorted yourself sexually to it. Well, I've watched these other girls who just blatantly flaunt themselves, and I'm like, why would you do that? I mean, you should be, displaying the hard work and art that you have put into, bringing this character into life, and yet for some reason it has become very sexualized, and it's really sad to see that.
I think it has a lot to do with the amount of attention that's given to particular people, and the girls take notice of that, and they're all very young, they're all very impressionable, and they all want to be like, they all want to be the best. They want to be the best maybe at a particular character, or they want to be the best in their region, or they want to be the best ever. And it puts a lot of pressure on them when certain people are getting thousands and thousands of likes for their sexualized cosplays. And, I think it's discouraging to the girls, and they feel like they have to stoop to that in order to get the attention that they want on their costumes.
So your focus is more about the art of the costuming and the theatrics of the presentation over utilizing whatever God has endowed you with or the surgeon has.
Yeah, because that's not what the cosplay is about. Cosplaying is about, bringing the characters to life working on your costumes, being proud of the construction, like, it's just, the sexualization just completely ruins it.
That's a really good definition that you gave. Thank you.
You have a thing.
Now, I'm gonna kind of go into a bit of into a walk down memory lane here with you two. Now, as I recall, starting a few years back, you guys, would you say that you guys really started getting your fan base back when you were cosplaying from Death Note? Because if I remember correctly, that's when it seems like you guys had a major boost in your following.
Yeah. Death Note was big at the time. It, wasn't my intention, to be like, oh, Death Note, your attention. I was naturally, obsessed with Death Note back then, and I used to do my own work on it. And I think the first time that I really got attention on it was before my Mafia started, because I did the personal style cosplay for Beyond Birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And around the time that I did that, it was around the time that the book finally did get released in America, because I had known about these before it got released here.
Gotcha.
I'd been cosplaying before it got released here.
Yeah.
So the more people started to learn about him, and when I finally did that, that one picture I did that everybody knows, that's me being in the black shirt with the cosplay logo, that's the one that blew up. And then Maddie, our Matt, sought me out because she lived very close by to me, and she came with her girlfriend, Melanie, and I don't know, magic happened. When we met that day, it was like we were together always.
Oh.
We filmed our first video that day, which was the Dinner with Misa video. And the rest is history from there. We had such good chemistry, and we had such passion for it. And I think that, people like to laugh was the thing.
Oh, yes.
And that fandom loves jokes. There was a lot of journals dedicated to Death Note craft.
Wow.
Back then. And since I love to make people laugh, and people love to laugh, I think that's why everybody liked us, because we were very outgoing. People could see the chemistry that we had together. We did the best that we could with our costumes at the time. I think that sometimes we get a little more credit than we deserve. If we tried to do it now, I think sure it would be a lot better. But I don't think that was what it was about. I think it was about the chemistry that we had and the way that we presented it, and how sure we were of ourselves and how comfortable we were in our own skin. And people looked up to that and latched onto that.
Well, it was very much you had a very bonding relationship at that time with each other, and I think a lot of people admire that, seeing close friends work together to create something that, to a certain extent, does kind of become a bit larger than the ordinary life that most people lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people put us on higher pedestal than we deserve. We were just a couple of tired, silly people in the middle of the night deciding to do stupid things in my bedroom, with the camera on and our costumes on. And most of the time we didn't even plan it out. We never plan out any of our skits. We might talk about a specific idea beforehand, but we always improv when we go into it and play off of each other.
That's a great skill set to have, though. I mean, be able to just kind of go off the fly off the handle like that. And I think what's something that I always really admired in both of your work is how you would always get really into the character. I always would, when I'd watch you, both through your video and then through your photo work, yeah, I noticed it in both of you, where you really went to the extent of really trying to bring whichever character you were cosplaying into existence and make them as real as possible.
Yeah, we do. Cause that's what I think it's all about. I wouldn't question any names, but I've seen so many cosplayers who are cosplaying as amazing costumes. I really admire their work, but they don't, like, they're just posing in front of the camera. I don't see the character in them. I see, like, a real nice costume a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that more people would put their all into it, because I think that it's one of the reasons why I do it, because it's like, we live normal life every day. Life sucks, life's boring. We fall in love with these characters, and then when we cosplay and put the costumes on, we get to pretend to be them for a little while. It's like something magical. We get to forget who we are for just a little while.
It's stepping out of ordinary life and into a different world.
Yeah, basically, into a different world, because that is really what it is. When we all of us cosplayers have our daily lives with our family, our jobs, school, etc. And then we go to conventions, and that's a whole different ballgame. That's most of the time completely separate from our daily lives.
Is there a pretty large cosplay community there in the area?
Yeah, we have a very big cosplay community. It's not, I don't know, I'm not that familiar with it nowadays, because Marz and I have genetic issues with people in our area. So we're kind of afraid of people, so we don't really go to gatherings or anything anymore. But from what I see on the sidelines, New England has a pretty big, strong cosplay community.
Do you mind if I ask why it is you do shy away from the community there?
Because a couple of years ago, we just, we made friends with certain people.
Drama happened.
Long story short, basically, they had problems with us that they didn't talk to us about personally. They would rather aired all of our dirty laundry all over the internet, like, secretly. So, that's really all there is to it.
Okay, we don't have to, well, I'll put it down as you're not as involved, some things occurred, but you're still, working hard, doing your own cosplaying together and developing your own system.
Yeah. I mean, we still make friends with people in the community. It's just hard for us sometimes.
Do you think you find that amongst creatives that a lot of times, I don't know, it seems like you're building this community, so to speak, the family, and then somebody's feelings get hurt, or something gets misunderstood or misconstrued, and then drama begins. And as creatives, sometimes, I don't know if it was oversensitive or what. I mean, I've lived through it myself many times, and then you have to back up and walk away for a while, and then kind of regroup and then start again. And it does seem to be a challenge at times.
Yeah, it is a challenge at times. Marz, do you have anything to add? He's just kind of quietly in here in the background.
Come forward, Marz. Speak to us.
Hey, I don't know what to add.
Don't look at these stupid jerks, that's it. It is what it is, right?
Interacting with like community and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Most of our interactions more like consistent to like, we'll try to meet people that like follow us at conventions, if they society, but I don't know, it's just, sometimes it can get kind of scary.
Have you...
Sometimes you gotta worry about someone trying to jump the or something.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to ask you. Have either one of you ever dealt with somebody's fandom stepping over the line a little bit too much?
Yeah. A few times, actually.
Well, yeah, because you guys just recently had another experience with this too, where, and this still is one thing that really puzzles me, is that...
The best way to explain it is, long story short, like, some interactions, like, when people get to know us, like, they'll know that we have a small, sort of, like, kind of internet following, and, they'd want to try to, use that for, like, themselves, I don't know, kind of use to their advantage sometimes. It's when I learned, like, after we had some, minor intimate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can understand too. You definitely don't want to bash on anyone specifically. That's perfectly understandable.
Yeah, it's just kind of like someone sort of like on your radio show or something and realize you're a popular radio show and decides to take advantage of what you did for their advantage. You know what I mean?
Right.
But because I know that we also with the radio show, ACS, and they kind of had their own community thing going. They do they've been trying to do like events and stuff. That's one thing I think New England's lacking nowadays, because they used to do like actual cosplay events, and a lot of FYPs are now shutting down, so there's no outside of the convention hanging out. There's a lot of things I know that, like a lot of people go to conventions, strive for it, but everyone gets that post-con depression.
Yes.
Yeah, because, one of the main reasons I go to anime conventions is because, like, what I said, boring lives, we don't want to, have fun, and socialize other people who also share a similar hobby of taking drugs seriously. Than the average person who lives across the street from you only just on Halloween. And the people who, the other people that we're surrounded by who look at us and like, cosplayers are weird.
I think cosplayers are some of the most real people I've actually met. Which is kind of weird because they're actually portraying a different character.
Yeah.
How often?
Because, to socialize other people as similar hobby as you.
Definitely.
You're not as weird as to each other as how you're weird to other, normal people.
How often do you and Red, would you say on the average, every 6 months to a year, how often do you actually enter into your cosplay characters and go and either film or go into public?
Oh my goodness, it used to be, we used to do it so often in the early days, like when I first joined her, we used to do it like almost every weekend. And then the life of adults happened, and free time started to dwindle. So it actually only became, I would say the first 2 years, maybe once a week, like, on weekends. We'd go on like cosplay adventures, go to a store or something, cosplay, record something while I was, shopping or something. But now it's just, we just go to conventions, hope to record something. Always hope they'll remember. Because you're at a convention, like 5 to 20 different things happening at once.
Yes.
But it's just, how we kind of let loose now with our free time. It's the only free time we have, so we usually go to conventions just so we can meet up with people we haven't seen in like years. People who, gone across state college and stuff, things like that.
Definitely, yeah. That's another great thing about the community with the gatherings and the cons, is that even though these are people that you haven't seen in years, this is a place that you can always meet with each other and be able to catch up on each other's lives and just be able to have fun with each other again.
I try to gatherings, I remember I used to go to them a long time ago, though, in the New England area. They have, this, like Fred said, it's pretty predominant, though. You know, like, in this huge park, the movie theater, and they have, like, the zombie monster sometimes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of activity from the Boston area, looks like springtime. Yeah, I was hoping that, you know, soon there'll be more, like, you know, mini events, like, you know, the NYE event is now dwindled out. I've heard there's, like, some places now trying to do, like, you know, one-day events. There needs to be some of those around the area here.
Is it possible for the two of you to promote doing something like that, or is it just too big of an undertaking?
I wish. I used to do something like that a long time ago, but it kind of died out.
So the US Club has just been trying to,
give other people ideas. Do it. Any area should do it.
so it sounds like the struggle that you've had is that you can get it running, but then it's keeping it going, so it's trying to keep the community active with it. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Do you think economics...
Nowadays it's mostly also like the internet or the conflict community. I really don't really get involved with it. I'm kind of, I don't know, kind of anti-social when it comes to that. Kind of scared of people.
Understandable. Do you think economics plays any part with how much people are involved in doing cosplay?
I would say it can be an economic issue because, again, one of the reasons why we did Death for such a long time is because Death is probably the one thing you can really afford. The only thing you really need is, you know, some decent wigs.
Right.
You know, that's like $40, and you figure, you know, some clothes at like a Goodwill or a thrift store. It's just my outfit. That's why we did it for a while, because it's really economic, but, you know, as, you know, life evolved and, you know, more work, less play, you know, we were able to eventually get, you know, better costumes and able to afford the things we do. Like, I always wanted to do Alice costumes for it because I knew it was going to be breaking the bank if I tried to even, you know, work with that.
Do you guys...
Usually have 2 years of saving up and actually had it happen. So I would say with cosplay, it's unfortunately a really expensive hobby. I'm pretty sure if I didn't cosplay, I would have a lot of extra money cash.
Do you guys ever make your own costumes then, or do you try to buy, is it the props that you're having to spend money on? What is it that costs so much?
Well, yeah, with cosplay, like, making it yourself is definitely the cheapest and probably the best way to do it, but also one of the hardest ways to do it. I used to try to make my own when I first started off, but as once time happened, I had to, you know, just buy stuff and modify things.
Right.
Making it something can either be really cheap or a double-edged sword because a lot of these costs you get online, they're, you know, yeah, it can be expensive either way, but most of the time you can probably cut corners with price to make yourself. But I would say also aside from the costume itself, because if you look at an average costume online, they average like $100 to $200.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And like conventions, like conventions too, like the bigger conventions are going to be the most, and then you have to consider like, you know, travel, hotel, stuff like that. And when you actually think about it, if I didn't actually go to any anime conventions for 1 year, I would have enough money to go to Japan. I did the math in my head, I was like, wow. I wouldn't have enough money to do this. Wow.
I hear you. I hear you on that, Marz, because if I had quit funding all these side projects like this podcast and everything else that I'm doing with photography and video, gosh, I'd probably actually be classified to be middle class already, but I'm funding everything, so it puts me below middle class.
Yeah.
Would you and Red like...
Any hobbies like that, pretty much. Any hobbies really like that.
Would you and Red like to go to Japan?
Would we like to? Well, that'd be pretty cool to go there, check it out.
Yeah. Would you want to go to one of their cosplay anime conventions that they have? If you could go, like, which one would you want to go to?
Oh my god, I'll be really overwhelmed to go to a Japanese convention because I don't know the language.
But they do speak English, you know, some of them.
Great, but I think it'll probably be exciting, you know. So I don't know, what's that big one in Japan, Comic-Con? Yeah, it's probably Comic-Con, because I remember when last year in Boston, me and Red hung out with Machine for a little bit.
Very cool.
After we go to Comic-Con.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're telling you should go, you should go.
It was pretty funny. It was a thorough experience. But I don't know. It's kind of long, but maybe. I'll put it on my bucket list.
Yeah, I think they put it on your bucket list. Putting it out, because when you say it, you put it out there, it'll happen.
Before I get too old to cosplay.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I was working with, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Make-A-Wish Foundation. And there was a young lady that they asked me to photo shoot, and that was her dream, was to go to the anime convention in Japan. And so I run a cosplay production group, and my costumer, I contacted her, asked her to make the outfit. She made the outfit. We got together with the family and Make-A-Wish. We took the photos. The family went to Japan, and they came back, and they said they had a blast.
Wow, that's a good story.
So definitely put it on your bucket list. If you're on, I don't think you said you were on Facebook. I said if you're on Facebook, it could probably at least show you the pictures. But her dad, he's a really cool dude. His name is Jason Fowers, and he actually builds armor out of common everyday objects from Home Depot. And he's quite a phenomenal character. If you ever get out to Arizona, I'll make sure I introduce you guys.
Well, we're thinking about going to Nevada again, and Arizona is not too far away.
No, it's a hop, skip, and jump down the hill.
After years, a couple of times.
Well, see, I'll be up in Las Vegas for the amazing Las Vegas Comic Con in June. I think it's towards the end of June.
Sounds good.
I'll be up there.
But quite that, it was very interesting city when I went down there. It was pretty interesting.
I'm sure it's very different from Boston or in the New England area. Now, you have to excuse me, I've never been to the East Coast, but when you look at pictures and you read stories, everything seems very prim and proper, straight-lined and not closed, but in order. And then when you come out west, everything is so open and chaotic and unstructured. Is that a pretty fair...
Audience for that wedding I went there.
Yeah?
I went there in November, so when I was in Boston, it was freezing. By the time I got there, I was sweating. I was like taking my clothes off, and as I was coming off, the plane, I was like, wow, it's really hot here.
Yeah.
Well, worse.
In Arizona and Nevada, we have 3 temperatures: hot, hotter, and hottest.
Well, then you have your fourth, which I call hell.
Amen to that.
All my fears are only going to a convention out there because all my cosplays are pretty much, a few of the ones I made were made to withstand, the weather up here. So, like, my avatar, that's pretty much like the trench coat on the avatar is mostly polyester and wool.
Yeah.
So I went to Connecticut in the dead of summer. I thought I was going to die. Nope. Never do an avatar again.
No. That's a winter-only character.
Yes.
Sub-freezing temperature character. Jeez. Well, where do you want to take what you're doing? Any long-term goals?
Long-term goals? Oof.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I never really thought about that. Like, I did want to do game design, went to college for it, but couldn't afford it, and
Wow.
But, well, I don't really know. I kind of take things as they come pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any,
I know recently, my dad's been trying to pass the torch to me. My dad used to have his own reputation about being a DJ in this area, and my dad, now turning 50, he's like, I'm getting old, I can't do this forever, I need to pass the torch to you. He's trying to pass the torch to me since I was 13, but I haven't found any interest in it now because, I don't know, I was, more interested in, video games and, meet my friends at 6 in the backyard. But yeah, kind of messing around with it. Show me the ropes.
and is he a DJ for what?
I don't know, really. Just, make a little bit extra money on the side, maybe, or maybe eventually, be cool enough to do, anime convention or something.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh,
I'm a long ways from that. I started messing around for a month. My birthday was trying to get me into it. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll give you the software. We need to mix it. It's not a computer. Okay. He comes over with his backup mix. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, I have 2 minutes ago. I got myself a new one anyway. I'm like, okay.
Well, when you guys are not cosplaying, what are your day jobs?
My day job?
Yeah, what's your day job?
Well, recently, I'm still on search.
Okay.
I'm between 2 jobs right now.
Uh-huh. What were you doing before, if you don't mind me asking?
I was working in a call center for a water company.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where I was there for, it's where, you're doing something for so long, and you just get to the point where you just want to put a gun to your head at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I understand.
been there.
Break you down.
We've all lived through that one. And what about Red? What is her daytime job?
Her daytime job, she's rather not say.
Okay.
That's fun.
For safety purposes, because
That's understandable, yeah.
ironically enough, there's some people try to get every small detail of her and try to impersonate her sometimes. I don't understand why, it's weird.
Yeah, as long as she's not a drug runner and she's, nothing like that, we're cool.
No, she's not.
I know a lot of people,
She works for a company that, that pretty much, that doesn't want to talk about. It's all people, it's just, you don't want to really say it.
it's a people company.
Yeah, it's a people company.
Okay, we can say it that way.
It's pretty much customer service.
Okay, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, you don't ever name the company. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Just a description of what your daytime job is. Yeah.
Answering phones.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say customer service answering phones. We're going to leave it at that. That's all. Because a lot of times people...
Put it in the category of technical support.
Okay, technical support? Okay.
Yeah, put that. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, it's not working? Unplug that.
Yeah, exactly. And hold your tongue this way and cross your eyes. It's just a lot of times people that are curious, it's like, oh, if you're a cosplayer, that must be all that you do and you have no other life. And, it just puts a little bit more of a human touch. Yeah, I do technical support and then I also do cosplay. I think it helps bring that human balance and that a lot of times people are looking to identify with.
Yeah, that's right, because it's a geek table. Geek table at my old job where all the people who would go to anime conventions would,
Mm-hmm.
plan, together with stuff. It was cool.
Yeah.
That was the IT department. That was the IT department.
Now, speaking of the whole impersonation type deal, you guys recently just had another kick.
Weird on them.
It is. It really is. I really don't understand it, but I know you guys just recently had another case of that pop up, and yeah, it was like it was through Twitter, wasn't it? Someone was trying to claim Red's identity again.
It's weird. I don't get it. Whatever that stuff happens, you can just look at each other and we're just like, I'm not Tom Cruise, or she's like, I'm not, like, well, insert celebrity name here. It's like, what's the point of impersonating it? How do you get it? They try, it's like, I don't know, I think it's just people trying to make them either mad, or people who are really infatuated, or people who just want to get some kind of reaction out of us.
It's definitely an odd thing. I don't really know what the purpose behind it really is.
I don't know what, sometimes I kind of wish that I was like one of those cosplayers that no one really knew. Like, cosplayer number one out of, one that's not really known for the convention kind of blends the background. I kind of wish I was more like that. Not really as tough, I kind of gained that from when I started, cosplaying with Red.
Well, if you two would stop being so darn good at it, then maybe you wouldn't have that.
Oh, no, it's always been so awkward because I don't think it's worthy of anything to get that much attention out of. I just kind of dressed up and have fun. I'm not a professional seamstress. I'm not really a professional actor. I try to be a professional at fun.
I like that. A professional at fun.
Professional at fun. Because
that's one of the big things going to draw people to you, though, is that because you are having fun with what you do. When people see that, they see you having fun with what you do, naturally they're very drawn to it.
They are. Do you ever get people asking for your autograph outside of when you're cosplaying?
Luckily, no, actually.
That's good.
No, I'm kind of glad.
Yeah.
It makes me feel kind of awkward. Like the only time I ever did my autograph was like, a typical convention where, someone has, sign me t-shirt, or, sign the, giant death note. That's really about it. No one's really asked me to personally say, oh my god, Maxieyi, or Maxieyi.
Wait, someone had a giant death note for you, sir?
I kind of go with it. Maxieyi, Maxieyi, Maxieyi. Cool.
So someone had a giant death note for you to sign? Really?
Yeah, I never thought about being idolized.
Yeah, I wanted to listen to anything either. If they ask me to do one thing, nobody asks me anything. So I just assume they don't want things silly things pretty like that. I want to do pretty silly. I don't get that.
This is an all time. But no, it's like, what I like though is when, when someone messages us sometimes and I'll say, we saw your videos and, we were really depressed when we saw this, but after we started to shoot us up for...
That's what we get the most, and that's what I love. That's what I like. That's what I love most about it. I get a lot of messages from a lot of kids who told me, they've been sad, they've been confused, they've been lost.
They want to kill themselves.
That we've helped them, and that we've helped them with the courage to enjoy cosplay themselves. That's what I like to hear. So I think that 100%.
So,
I came to see you, with the little bit of e-fame that I do have.
Is it really frowned upon amongst the young people, junior high and high school, to cosplay? Is it really frowned upon in the age group of junior high and high school to cosplay? Is it something that kids that age, do they get teased when they want to do it, or?
I wouldn't know, because back when I was in high school, nobody cosplayed. I am old.
I would say it really has to do with probably the area where they live in, or what kind of expectations the family has. Like, I'll tell you one thing: if I lived in your typical strict family, that was they would not let me have those, go to conventions, or some people think that cosplay is for weirdos, or you know what I mean,
Yeah, I mean, things get stereotyped, and I think that comes from a lot of different places. I know, speaking for myself, it's a balance that you got to walk sometimes. I'm a Christian, but I'm an artist. I believe in God, and I also will listen with an open mind to other people's opinions and not shut them down. I confuse the heck out of both sides, to be honest with you. And that's okay. And I think that's where it does come down to your perspective and your baggage that you bring to whatever it is that you're doing. I won't knock someone because they got tattoos and piercings. I don't know what they're coming from and what they're doing. And I won't knock someone in a suit and a tie because I don't know. I don't know where they're coming from. And I think we have a tendency to do that way too much in our society. End of sermon.
I feel like one person I knew, like, when they were younger, like, their parents actually, like, you know, went into their closet while they were in school and, like, threw away all their cosplay.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Because they wanted their kids to be normal.
What's normal? Define that.
Like, Disney Channel.
Yeah, that's normal. That turned out what? Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, what's the twerking girl? What's her name? Miley Cyrus. Yeah, what's normal? Yeah, that's normal, mommy. I want to be Miley Cyrus when I grow up, please.
Yeah, I'm in and out. Britney Spears. Crazy, you know. I think probably, like, you know, some parts of the anime community is probably a lot more sane than what's considered, like, you know, normal. But the thing is, normal, the definition of normal for society, it seems like, it always fluctuates, I notice, you know?
Yes.
This will be socially unacceptable in these 2 years, but guess what? 5 years ago, if I had if either me or Red had our hair color dyed red or dyed 2 different colors, you wouldn't get a job somewhere.
Right. That has changed a lot.
No, they don't care.
Yeah, that has changed a lot. And I think with the advent of theater being removed from our schools, at least out here in the West, the arts have almost dwindled to being nothing at all in the public school system. We've seen an upsurge of young people getting more involved in cosplay, in anime, and going to Comic-Con conventions. And I think it's their form of expression because they don't have it within the public school systems here. So that's a good thing.
It's kind of easy to express yourself through that in algebra equation.
Correct.
Jeez.
Correct.
I was fortunate enough to be in high school when they still had things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like around my area, they taught some of those cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
Things like pottery, like, things like that, art class, music class.
Which is really sad. Which is really just sad to see because the removal of the arts, taking away that freedom of expression, especially for the younger generations, is actually very damaging to a certain extent because, in my experience, when I was still in school, I would do things like music and video production, and through that, I actually performed better in academics because I had a way to express who I was. Without that, you're given the mindset of, you just fall in line, do as you're told, and that's that. But with that, then, you're taking hold of your personal emotions and suppressing them, which is just very damaging mentally and emotionally on many degrees.
That's how you feel the extent of the ambitious.
I don't know if Christopher's got, if Marz has got anything else to ask you or not. Yeah.
First name. You don't use my first name.
Kind of like, wow, it's not something you really think about. It's kind of like killing the ambitious, you know, and then it's like killing the ambitious.
Oh, yes.
But okay, I'm sorry for being rude.
We're losing our Einsteins, we're losing our Van Goghs, we're losing all of that, because of the direction that we've been heading. It's very Orwellian, and I just hope back there in the New England area that you and Red keep going, you keep doing what you're doing, keep sharing what you can with others within the parameters that you're comfortable with. It's important, and never scoff at what you guys are doing. You are contributing to the creative mindset that is needed in this world. And I for one, and I'm sure Marz is the same, we want to thank you for that.
I dropped the phone.
Yeah, fine, yeah, drop the phone,
I'm receiving praise. I just dropped the phone. I can't listen to this.
Well, when you were saying that, like, this is kind of mind-blowing when you say things like that. Wow. That's very honorable.
It is important, and it's something Marz and I will continue to do on our end. And just think how many out there tonight, simultaneously, all of us creative minds are bending spoons, and that's a good thing. That's what we need to continue to do.
Yeah. Well, we're bending the spoons, or if that were just sitting there staring at a spoon, hoping it moves.
I get thinking about this, like, when people say things like that to me, I just can't take it back. Because, my mindset of it is, I'm just someone who cosplayed and posts pictures for fun, and next thing you know, I find out that I'm inspiring people and making some sort of a difference. When I hear something like that, it's kind of weird. But I'm like, wow, I didn't know that, I didn't realize that one.
Yeah, I mean, you never know the effect that you're really going to have on people until you actually step out there. And I mean, really, both you and Red have had a phenomenal effect on people. Like Red was saying, when you guys get messages about these kids who are just really struggling in their own lives because they're facing that societal suppression of don't be who you are, be like everyone else. When they see someone step out of that boundary and say, no, I'm going to do things my way, it is very inspiring for them, because now they realize I can be myself. I don't have to be what everyone else thinks I should be.
Kind of like Morpheus in a way, sort of, Chris.
Well, I don't know if you guys ever pay attention to any of the posts I make, but I did send out a post that was quoting Morpheus with societal terms. How'd that thing go again? Was it, I gotta think now. Was it it was the one about, he says, you have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged, and many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. And we do face that in today's society. People are so dependent on the conformism that they will stubbornly sit there and say, oh, it'll work, when really it's what's destroying our youth. It's destroying us, ultimately.
The soul of a human being. Quite an important task. I've enjoyed listening to both of you, and appreciate Marz introducing your work to me. I've been inspired looking over at some of your works, and look forward to future projects that you guys are going to be putting together, and hope to connect with you via social media myself and share some of the same passions and like-minded that we have, and just go from there and continue on. I appreciate both of you, Marz and Red.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot.
It was definitely a pleasure having both of you come on for tonight, and I was really glad you two agreed to show up too, because I really do believe that you two have an amazing influence on people who are struggling in their lives, especially younger generations, and it is definitely a great thing to see that. And I know that you two believe that your contribution is small, but even a small contribution can have a profound and enormous effect. So definitely thank you two for coming on. And
I apologize for the awkward situation.
Oh no.
I can only say whatever I feel like it's the first couple times.
Not at all. I mean, people like to call me a professional podcasting host, radio host. I'm really not. In my humble opinion, I really don't know what I'm doing.
Got a degree in BS.
Exactly. Yes, thank you again, both of you, for agreeing to come on.
Definitely. Make sure you have my Facebook, both of them.
Oh yes, definitely. I will be more than happy to do that.
And are you okay, Marz, if I share your Facebook pages on my Facebook pages?
Huh?
Okay. Yeah, I thought I better.
Let's go, I'll show you one. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more than happy to share your work, and if it's okay with you two, I'd like to share what you guys have been doing with my cosplay production group, because I think it'll help them to see some of the differences between the East Coast and West Coast, because there are some differences I noticed right away when I was looking at your work.
Okay.
All right. Well, I believe we are gonna start wrapping up here, because I know you guys have said you got some work that you have to do in the morning, so I don't want to keep you too long. But once again, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. You have a great night. Thank you so much for coming on, and I will definitely let you know once we have the release of the podcast up, which should be probably tomorrow night if I have it right here.
And then I'll get you the newspaper. I'll get you the newspaper link when it goes live in April.
No one's gonna put up a fight. Let's pray that something good comes out of it. Let's pray someone can stop this shit. And let's pray for the young and the sweet and the innocent and the old. And let's pray for rock and roll.